Time is the one resource that we can never get back, yet most people spend it as if it were infinite. Seniors often reflect that they wasted far too much of their lives on things that, in the grand scheme, mattered very little. When you look back, the hours spent worrying about trivial matters, arguing over small disagreements, or seeking approval from others often seem completely disproportionate to the impact they had on your life. Time is precious not because it is scarce, but because it is irreplaceable. Once a moment is gone, it can never be retrieved, and that realization becomes painfully clear as people age. Seniors frequently express regret over how much of their energy was consumed by negativity, whether it was dwelling on past mistakes, holding grudges, or stressing over things beyond their control. They emphasize that investing energy in negative thoughts or toxic relationships only drains your life force and diminishes the time you have left to experience joy, connection, and personal growth. Another lesson that seniors wish they had learned earlier is that not all battles are worth fighting. Life often presents situations that trigger frustration, anger, or resentment, but choosing to engage in every conflict only consumes valuable time and emotional energy. Instead, they advise focusing on what truly matters and letting go of minor irritations. Learning to prioritize your time based on your values and long-term goals allows you to live with a sense of purpose rather than being swept away by endless distractions. Time spent on meaningful activities, such as pursuing passions, creating memories with loved ones, or contributing to the community, yields lasting satisfaction. In contrast, time wasted on pettiness or chasing external validation rarely produces fulfillment. Seniors often remark that when they were younger, they underestimated the compounding impact of small, daily choices. Each decision about how to spend your hours either builds toward a life of satisfaction or detracts from it. Recognizing this sooner can fundamentally change how you live. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for valuing time, and seniors wish they had practiced it earlier. Being present in each moment, fully experiencing your surroundings, conversations, and activities, ensures that time is not simply passing by unnoticed. When you are fully engaged, even simple experiences gain richness and depth, and the hours feel more meaningful. Seniors frequently point out that much of their stress came from constantly projecting into the future or ruminating on the past. Learning to focus on the present moment reduces wasted time and allows for a more peaceful, fulfilling life. When you approach life this way, even mundane tasks become opportunities for reflection, learning, or connection, rather than mechanical actions that consume hours without value. Another crucial aspect is understanding that time invested in personal growth has exponential benefits. Seniors often regret not dedicating enough hours to learning new skills, cultivating hobbies, or exploring intellectual pursuits. While career advancement and financial security are important, they rarely provide the deep satisfaction that comes from mastering a skill, creating art, or expanding your mind. Time spent nurturing your creativity, curiosity, and personal development pays lifelong dividends, enriching your life and providing a sense of accomplishment that material wealth cannot match. Seniors emphasize that early recognition of this truth allows for a life that is both productive and deeply fulfilling. Time spent with loved ones is another area where seniors express profound reflection. Many wish they had invested more hours in nurturing relationships, as these connections ultimately define the quality of life. Conversations, shared experiences, and moments of genuine presence with family and friends are irreplaceable. The hours spent chasing career milestones, accumulating possessions, or seeking social status often pale in comparison to the memories and bonds created with people you care about. Seniors stress that valuing your time means consciously allocating it to those relationships that bring love, joy, and support, while letting go of toxic interactions that drain energy. Choosing to spend time on meaningful connections not only enriches your life but also leaves a lasting impact on those you love. Seniors also highlight the importance of setting boundaries to protect your time. Saying yes to everything can be a subtle form of time theft, leaving you exhausted and preventing you from focusing on what truly matters. Learning to decline requests or disengage from situations that do not align with your values is crucial. Every moment spent on unimportant obligations is a moment that cannot be recovered. By being selective with how you invest your hours, you create space for the activities, people, and experiences that genuinely contribute to a satisfying life. Seniors often wish they had learned this lesson earlier, as it allows for a greater sense of control and freedom. Ultimately, valuing time is about cultivating awareness and intentionality in every aspect of life. Seniors express that the biggest regret is not realizing sooner that time itself is the most significant currency we possess. Wealth, possessions, and accolades pale in comparison to the quality of how we spend our days. Recognizing the fleeting nature of life encourages a shift from reactive living to proactive, purpose-driven living. By consciously choosing where to invest your attention, energy, and emotions, you maximize the impact of each hour, creating a life filled with meaning, joy, and connection. Seniors wish they had understood that time wasted cannot be reclaimed, and every moment should be cherished as a precious opportunity to live fully, love deeply, and grow continuously. Valuing your time is not about doing more, but about doing what truly matters, because in the end, the measure of life is not the quantity of hours, but the quality with which they are lived. Health is often taken for granted when we are young. Yet seniors frequently express deep regret that they did not prioritize it earlier in life. They emphasize that without good physical and mental health, everything else, career success, financial security, or material possessions, loses its value. Many spend decades chasing external achievements while neglecting the body and mind, only to realize later that the years of neglect cannot be fully reversed. Seniors often wish they had understood that small, consistent habits aimed at maintaining health have a profound cumulative effect. Eating nutritiously, exercising regularly, sleeping adequately, and managing stress are not just daily tasks but investments in the quality and longevity of life. They stress that these actions are not optional luxuries but foundational elements that allow people to fully experience and enjoy everything life has to offer. Physical health is often the first aspect seniors reflect upon. Many wish they had been more attentive to exercise and movement, not just for appearance or fitness but for long-term vitality. Simple activities like walking, stretching, or light strength training maintain mobility, flexibility, and independence as one ages. Seniors often lament that they spent too much time sedentary, sitting at desks or watching screens, which led to preventable ailments such as joint stiffness, weight gain, or cardiovascular problems. Even small daily efforts to move the body consistently can prevent serious health issues later in life. Nutrition is another crucial element, yet it is often overlooked in youth. Seniors advise paying attention to what you eat, understanding that food is fuel, and choosing it to nourish the body rather than simply satisfy cravings. Balanced diets rich in whole foods, fresh produce, and adequate hydration provide energy, bolster the immune system, and maintain vitality far more effectively than quick fixes or fad diets. Mental health is equally critical and often underestimated. Seniors frequently share that years of stress, anxiety, or unaddressed emotional struggles take a silent toll, impacting both physical and mental well-being. Chronic stress can manifest in physical ailments, disrupt sleep, and reduce overall life satisfaction. They stress the importance of cultivating habits that promote mental resilience, such as mindfulness, meditation, journaling, or seeking therapy when needed. Emotional self-care is not a sign of weakness but a proactive approach to maintaining balance and clarity. Seniors often wish they had been more intentional in managing their thoughts and emotions, understanding that mental health is not secondary but a vital component of overall wellness. Preventive healthcare is another lesson many seniors wish they had embraced earlier. Regular checkups, screenings, and medical consultations can identify issues before they become serious, yet many postpone these visits out of fear, busyness, or denial. Seniors reflect that proactively caring for their health rather than reacting to problems allows for a longer, more independent, and fulfilling life. Vaccinations, dental care, eye exams, and routine physical evaluations are small but significant steps that protect long-term health. They stress that ignoring these measures may save time or money temporarily but leads to far greater costs, both financially and in quality of life, as conditions worsen and opportunities diminish. Seniors also highlight the importance of sleep and rest. Many regret not taking their sleep seriously, prioritizing work, social obligations, or entertainment over the body's need for restorative rest. Quality sleep affects cognitive function, mood regulation, immunity, and overall energy levels. It is the foundation upon which physical and mental health are built. Cultivating a consistent sleep routine and creating an environment conducive to rest are simple yet profound ways to safeguard health. Seniors often emphasize that sacrificing sleep for temporary gains rarely pays off in the long term and can accelerate health decline. Learning to respect the body's natural rhythms is an essential lesson that often comes too late for many. Equally important is the avoidance of harmful habits. Smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, sedentary lifestyle, and poor dietary choices may seem manageable in youth, but they accumulate silently over decades. Seniors often regret the choices they made in their earlier years, noting how these habits compromised their energy, longevity, and quality of life. The lesson is clear. Preventive action and moderation in all things contribute far more to long-term satisfaction than temporary pleasures or indulgences. They encourage young people to make deliberate, health-conscious decisions early on, understanding that the cumulative effect of these choices shapes the future body and mind. Seniors also highlight the value of balance in life. Pursuing career ambitions or material success is not inherently wrong, but it should not come at the expense of health. Overwork, chronic stress, and neglect of personal well-being may produce short-term gains but create long-term losses. Seniors advise integrating health into daily routines, creating habits that sustain both body and mind while allowing for enjoyment and productivity. They stress that health is not a singular goal but an ongoing practice, an ever-present responsibility that affects every other aspect of life. Mental stimulation and emotional fulfillment are equally significant for seniors. Keeping the brain active through reading, learning new skills, engaging in meaningful conversations, or pursuing hobbies strengthens cognitive function and emotional well-being. Loneliness, isolation, or lack of purpose can be as damaging as physical inactivity, and seniors often regret not nurturing social connections and intellectual curiosity. They advise prioritizing activities that bring joy, challenge the mind, and create meaningful engagement, understanding that mental health and physical health are deeply interconnected. Ultimately, seniors wish they had internalized the idea that health is a foundation for a life well lived. Without it, even the most extraordinary opportunities or accomplishments are diminished. Maintaining physical and mental well-being allows one to experience life fully, pursue passions, connect with loved ones, and enjoy independence in later years. They often express that the earlier this lesson is embraced, the richer and more fulfilling life becomes. Every choice, what to eat, how to move, how to rest, how to manage stress, and how to nurture the mind, adds up over decades. By prioritizing health, you invest in a future where your time can be spent actively living, rather than being limited by preventable ailments or regrets. Seniors repeatedly emphasize that health is wealth in its truest sense, and valuing it early transforms the quality, freedom, and joy of life. Relationships are the cornerstone of a meaningful and fulfilling life, yet seniors often reflect that they did not fully appreciate their value until later in life. Many people spend decades prioritizing careers, material possessions, or social status, only to realize that these achievements bring limited satisfaction compared to the depth of human connection. Seniors frequently express that the most significant regrets they carry involve time lost with loved ones, unresolved conflicts, or opportunities missed to nurture important relationships. They emphasize that life's richness is measured not by what you own, but by the quality of the connections you cultivate and the love you share. From family and friends to mentors, colleagues, and even casual acquaintances, every relationship holds potential to enrich your life, yet it requires attention, care, and intentionality to flourish. One of the most common reflections among seniors is the importance of family. Parents, siblings, children, and extended family form the core network of support and emotional sustenance throughout life. Seniors often regret not spending enough time with parents before they passed away, or not fully engaging with children during formative years. They stress that daily interactions, conversations, shared meals, celebrations, and even mundane moments create lasting memories and foster bonds that endure over time. While career obligations and personal ambitions may seem pressing, investing in family relationships provides irreplaceable joy and emotional security. Seniors highlight that these bonds are not just about love, but also about mutual support, guidance, and the shared experience of life's highs and lows. Friendships also hold a vital place in the tapestry of life. Many seniors express regret over neglecting friendships or allowing them to fade due to busyness or pride. True friends provide companionship, understanding, and encouragement, and they often help navigate life's challenges. Maintaining friendships requires effort, regular communication, empathy, and genuine care, but the rewards are profound. Seniors advise that cultivating friendships is not just about social enjoyment, it also contributes to mental and emotional well-being, offering a support system that can buffer against loneliness, stress, and adversity. They frequently note that the quality of friendships, rather than the quantity, is what truly matters, emphasizing deep, meaningful connections over superficial associations. Romantic relationships are another area seniors often reflect on. They highlight that love, intimacy, and emotional closeness are essential to happiness, and neglecting these aspects can lead to regret. Whether it is a spouse, partner, or significant other, investing time, attention, and emotional energy into nurturing these relationships creates a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and affection. Seniors often wish they had communicated more openly, resolved conflicts sooner, and prioritized their partner over trivial disagreements or external distractions. They emphasize that lasting relationships require ongoing effort, patience, and understanding, and that taking a partner for granted can lead to missed opportunities for deep connection and shared fulfillment. Seniors also stress the importance of forgiveness and letting go of grudges. Holding on to resentment or anger not only damages relationships but also drains personal energy and happiness. Many seniors reflect that unresolved conflicts with family, friends, or colleagues were a source of unnecessary stress and regret. Learning to forgive, communicate openly, and prioritize reconciliation can restore relationships and prevent lifelong regrets. They often share that even imperfect relationships, when nurtured with empathy and effort, can provide immense value, emotional support, and joy. By focusing on repairing connections rather than harboring negativity, seniors emphasize that one can create a more harmonious and meaningful life. Another key lesson seniors impart is the value of intentionality in relationships. Life moves quickly, and without conscious effort, people can drift apart from those who matter most. Seniors often recommend making time for loved ones a priority, scheduling regular interactions, and creating shared experiences. Celebrations, simple gestures of care, and expressions of gratitude strengthen bonds and foster a sense of belonging. They highlight that time invested in relationships is never wasted. Even small acts of attention, listening, encouraging, or offering support, can leave a lasting impact. Prioritizing relationships over material pursuits or fleeting distractions ensures that life is rich with connection, empathy, and shared meaning. Communication plays a central role in healthy relationships, and seniors frequently express regret over not speaking up sooner, not expressing love or appreciation, or avoiding difficult conversations. Open, honest, and respectful communication allows misunderstandings to be cleared, conflicts to be resolved, and emotional intimacy to deepen. Seniors often wish they had been more courageous in expressing their feelings, more patient in listening, and more generous in giving compliments and support. They highlight that meaningful relationships thrive when both parties feel valued, understood, and emotionally safe, and that investing time in communication strengthens bonds that endure the test of time. Seniors also emphasize the importance of mutual respect and boundaries. Healthy relationships are built on trust, understanding, and respect for each other's individuality. They often regret tolerating toxic behaviors or overextending themselves at the expense of their own well-being. Establishing boundaries allows relationships to flourish while maintaining personal integrity and emotional health. Seniors advise that balancing giving and receiving in relationships ensures that connections remain sustainable, nurturing, and positive over the long term. Finally, seniors reflect that relationships provide a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and life's richness is amplified through shared experiences, love, and support. Relationships offer emotional sustenance during difficult times, companionship during periods of solitude, and joy in moments of celebration. Seniors often note that the memories created with loved ones, the lessons learned through interactions, and the mutual growth experienced are far more meaningful than material achievements or accolades. They emphasize that investing time and care in relationships not only enhances personal well-being but also leaves a lasting legacy of love, connection, and shared experience. Change is an inevitable part of life, yet it is something many people resist, often to their detriment. Seniors frequently reflect that they spent too much of their lives clinging to routines, comfort zones, and familiar patterns, only to realize later that embracing change could have opened doors to growth, fulfillment, and unexpected opportunities. They often wish they had learned earlier that life is dynamic, circumstances shift, and the ability to adapt is crucial for both personal development and emotional resilience. Change is not something to fear, but something to accept, navigate, and even welcome as a natural pathway to learning, discovery, and deeper self-understanding. Seniors emphasize that growth often comes not from stability, but from stepping into the unknown and challenging oneself to evolve in response to new experiences. One of the primary lessons seniors wish they had internalized sooner is that resisting change often leads to stagnation. People can become comfortable in routines, jobs, relationships, or habits that no longer serve them, simply because familiarity feels safe. While comfort zones provide short-term security, they limit the potential for growth and new experiences. Seniors frequently share that many opportunities for personal, professional, and emotional advancement were missed because they were unwilling to step outside of what they knew. Embracing change, even when it is uncomfortable or uncertain, allows for the expansion of skills, perspectives, and life experiences. They stress that the discomfort of adaptation is temporary, while the rewards of growth can last a lifetime. Another important aspect is the mindset around failure and risk. Seniors often reflect that fear of failure prevented them from pursuing dreams, changing careers, or taking bold steps in life. They advise that failure is not the opposite of success but an essential component of it, providing lessons, resilience, and insight. Change often involves risk, and risk often involves the possibility of failure, but avoiding it entirely means avoiding growth. Seniors wish they had understood that embracing change requires a willingness to be vulnerable, to experiment, and to learn from mistakes. Each shift, no matter how small, can lead to a deeper understanding of oneself and the world, ultimately enhancing confidence and competence. Seniors also highlight the importance of adaptability in relationships. As people age, relationships evolve, roles shift, and dynamics change. Children grow up, friends move away, partners change, and work environments transform. Those who resist adapting to these shifts often experience frustration, disappointment, or regret. Seniors emphasize that learning to accept change in others, without clinging to past expectations, fosters harmony, understanding, and emotional resilience. Flexibility allows relationships to deepen and evolve rather than stagnate or fracture. Embracing change in interpersonal dynamics also encourages empathy, patience, and a broader perspective, which strengthens social bonds and personal fulfillment. Personal growth and lifelong learning are closely tied to one's willingness to embrace change. Seniors often regret not pursuing new skills, interests, or experiences earlier in life, confining themselves to familiar routines or preconceived notions of what they should do. They stress that curiosity, openness, and a willingness to try new things enrich life immeasurably. Learning a new language, taking up a creative hobby, traveling, or exploring unfamiliar ideas all require stepping into the unknown, but they provide mental stimulation, joy, and a sense of accomplishment. Seniors wish they had recognized earlier that change is not only external but also internal. Shifts in mindset, habits, and attitudes are equally vital for a fulfilling life. Health and lifestyle changes are another area where seniors emphasize the importance of adaptability. As the body and mind evolve over time, adjusting routines, diet, and exercise habits becomes essential. Seniors often regret ignoring early signs of health changes or resisting lifestyle adjustments that could have prevented long-term issues. They stress that embracing change in daily habits, whether it's incorporating exercise, altering diet, or adopting mindfulness practices, supports longevity and quality of life. Change, in this context, is not a disruption but a proactive choice to preserve well-being and maintain independence. Seniors also reflect on career and professional changes. Many wish they had been more open to exploring different career paths, entrepreneurial ventures, or educational opportunities. Sticking to a single path out of fear of the unknown often limited their growth and satisfaction. They emphasize that career changes, learning new skills, or pursuing passions later in life can be transformative, providing renewed purpose and a sense of achievement. Seniors often share stories of peers who embraced change professionally and discovered new fulfillment, proving that it is never too late to evolve and pursue meaningful goals. Another crucial lesson is learning to let go. Change often requires releasing attachments to the past, old identities, habits, or possessions that no longer serve one's growth. Seniors frequently note that clinging to past successes, failures, or ways of being can hinder adaptation and create unnecessary suffering. Letting go allows space for new opportunities, perspectives, and experiences to emerge. It is a form of emotional intelligence and maturity that enriches life and cultivates resilience. Seniors advise that embracing change is not just about external circumstances but also about internal flexibility, the willingness to evolve emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. Seniors also highlight that embracing change fosters gratitude and a deeper appreciation for life. When people are open to change, they are more likely to notice and cherish small joys, seize opportunities, and engage fully with each moment. Change encourages presence, adaptability, and an understanding that life is transient and precious. Seniors often wish they had recognized that rigid resistance to change leads to missed moments, regret, and a diminished sense of fulfillment. By accepting change as a natural and enriching part of life, they believe individuals can live more fully, love more deeply, and approach challenges with confidence and resilience. Ultimately, seniors convey that the wisdom gained from embracing change is profound. Life is unpredictable, and the only constant is transformation. Those who resist change may find themselves frustrated, stagnant, or unfulfilled, while those who accept it with courage, curiosity, and openness are better equipped to thrive. Embracing change nurtures resilience, personal growth, emotional intelligence, and meaningful relationships. Seniors repeatedly emphasize that the earlier one learns to welcome change rather than fear it, the richer and more rewarding life becomes. Adaptation is not just a survival strategy but a pathway to fulfillment, self-discovery, and lasting joy. They wish they had understood sooner that change is not an obstacle but an opportunity, a door to possibilities, experiences, and wisdom that define a life well lived.